You've spent hours staring at your notes. You've highlighted every formula. You've watched every YouTube video labeled ACCA MA tips. And yet, deep down, there's a quiet panic you don't want to admit. Why do I still feel unprepared? Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How many hours have you truly wasted studying the wrong way? If you've ever thought, I'm doing everything right, but my marks still don't show it, this video will feel like someone finally turned the lights on. Because here's the truth no one talks about: in ACCA MA, your biggest enemy isn't the complexity of the formulas or the number of chapters. It's your approach, the silent mistakes that sabotage you before the exam even begins. And the worst part? Most students don't even realize they're making them until it's too late. This isn't just another exam guide. This is a wake-up call. You're about to learn the hard truths, the costly traps, and the mindset flaws that keep brilliant students stuck, failing, or barely passing. Because the difference between a 42 and a 72? It's not intelligence, it's strategy. And this video might just change the way you study forever. Welcome to Education Bench, the faceless yet fiercely focused channel where real strategies meet real students. We don't do fluff. We craft content for ACCA minds who want results, not regrets. If you're serious about mastering MA and want to avoid the traps that fail thousands every year, stay till the end. This could be your turning point. Mistake number 1: memorizing without mastering. Let's be honest. At some point, we've all tried to memorize formulas like cost equals fixed cost, variable cost per unit X number of units, or contribution equals sales, variable cost. But here's the brutal truth: memorization without mastery is academic suicide. The exam isn't testing your ability to parrot, it's testing how you think. ACCA MA questions are designed to twist the same formula in unpredictable contexts. They'll throw in a change in cost behavior or flip the format into a decision-making scenario. So if all you've done is rote learning, you're already playing a losing game. What you should do instead: internalize. Ask, why does this formula exist? What changes if one variable shifts? Can I apply this to a real-world scenario like pricing strategy or cost control in a factory? When your brain understands context, formulas stop being scary. They start being tools. Mistake number 2: ignoring the question traps. You know what the examiner's job is? To trick you, subtly, elegantly. Every single question is a test of attention, not just knowledge. Have you ever gotten a numerical answer you were confident about, only to realize later you missed one word? Per unit, or total cost. That's not a small mistake. That's the difference between full marks and zero. Here's what no one told you: ACCA MA examiners hide points inside wording. They mix up fixed versus variable costs. They give you a cost card with missing or outdated figures. They test your judgment, not your calculator skills. Slow down. Read the question twice. Circle the verb. Circle the conditions. Ask yourself, what exactly are they asking me to prove? Mistake number 3: practicing too late. Most students wait until 2 weeks before the exam to start solving past papers. That's like training for a marathon by jogging the day before. Here's a stat that should scare you. Students who start solving specimen and past papers from week 2 of their prep are 67% more likely to pass on their first attempt. Why? Because practice is preparation. MA isn't about how many chapters you read. It's about how well you can respond to real exam pressure, real questions, and real formatting. The sooner you start solving questions, the faster your brain adapts to the pattern. And pattern recognition? That's the real superpower in ACCA MA. Mistake number 4: treating theory as optional. If you think MA is all about numbers, you're already behind. Because the written parts of the exam? That's where marks bleed, and most students avoid it like the plague. They skip theory, skim decision-making models, and hope the exam goes easy on them. Bad bet. Examiners have been increasing the weightage of narrative and application-based questions. If you can't explain the logic behind a break-even decision or a pricing policy, you're toast. Here's the mindset shift: theory isn't the side dish. It's the seasoning that makes the main course digestible. Mistake number 5: passive learning instead of active recall. If your study sessions involve reading a chapter and highlighting half the page in yellow, you're learning passively. Passive learning feels productive, but it's mental illusion. Active recall, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It forces your brain to retrieve, not just recognize, information. Try this: after reading a concept, close the book. Write the formula. Explain the idea out loud. Build a mock question from it. That's how you cement knowledge. You don't fail MA because you're bad at math. You fail MA because you're too good at pretending to study. Reading isn't learning. Highlighting isn't understanding. Watching videos isn't practicing. The truth? The only thing that raises your marks is what you do after you close the book. Mistake number 6: studying without exam strategy. ACCA MA isn't a subject, it's a game. And like any game, it has patterns, cheat codes, and traps. Ever noticed how questions about limiting factors, variance analysis, and break-even analysis show up every single year? That's not coincidence. That's opportunity. Smart students don't study everything equally. They study strategically. They analyze examiner reports, look for repeated concepts, and tailor their prep accordingly. Mistake number 7: studying alone without feedback. Studying in isolation feels safe. You're in control. No judgment. But here's the dark side: you don't know what you don't know. You could be repeating the same wrong steps in every question, and reinforcing them. Feedback, from peers, tutors, or even online communities, gives you pattern correction. It helps you grow fast. Get your answers checked. Join a group. Post your doubts. Study smarter together. Mistake number 8: neglecting mindset and burnout. Let's stop pretending like motivation is unlimited. You're human. You get tired. And ACCA prep, especially MA, is a mental marathon. If you don't schedule rest, your brain will crash at the worst possible time. Build in recovery. 50-minute sessions. 10-minute breaks. Sleep well. Fuel your body. Because a sharp, rested mind can solve in 2 minutes what a burnt-out brain takes 20 to guess. You've just seen behind the curtain, the real reasons why students struggle in ACCA MA. So what now? You've got 2 options. Keep studying the way you always have, hoping something clicks. Or, upgrade your strategy. Build precision. Use what you've just learned. Because if this hit home for you, you're not alone. But now, you're one step ahead of 90% of ACCA students who'll never hear this. And that's a competitive edge no textbook can give you. Want to master the ACCA practice platform or learn how to structure your study weeks like a top scorer? Watch our next video on the smartest way to prepare for ACCA MA. Leave a comment below. Which of these mistakes hit hardest? What will you change today? This isn't the end. It's your new beginning. And Education Bench is here to walk that road with you. Let's rewrite your ACCA story, one smart strategy at a time.